Tariffs are taxes on imported goods. They are designed to make foreign products more expensive. This makes domestic products more appealing. Governments use tariffs for various reasons. One reason is to protect domestic industries from foreign competition. Another reason is to generate revenue. Tariffs can have a significant impact on the economy. They can raise prices for consumers and businesses. They can also lead to job losses in industries that rely on imports. However, tariffs can also protect domestic jobs and industries. The overall impact of tariffs depends on a complex interplay of factors. Tariffs are often used as a tool in trade negotiations. Countries may threaten to impose tariffs to get concessions from other countries. This can lead to trade wars, in which countries escalate tariffs back and forth. Trade wars can damage the global economy and lead to higher prices for consumers. President Trump has made tariffs a central part of his economic policy. He has imposed tariffs on goods from China, Mexico, Canada, and the European Union. These tariffs have raised prices for consumers and businesses. They have also led to retaliation from other countries, which have imposed their own tariffs on U.S. goods. Trump's most recent tariff proposals target Mexico and Canada. He has proposed a 25% tariff on imports from both countries. This follows an executive order signed on January 30, 2025, calling for an America First trade policy. These tariffs represent a significant escalation of Trump's trade war. The proposed tariffs have been met with criticism from businesses and economists. They argue that the tariffs will harm the U.S. economy by raising prices and reducing competition. They also fear that the tariffs will lead to retaliation from Mexico and Canada, further damaging the U.S. economy. Tariffs have a long and contentious history in the United States. In the early days of the Republic, tariffs were a major source of revenue for the government. They were also used to protect domestic industries from foreign competition. One of the most famous examples of tariffs in U.S. history is the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930. This act raised tariffs on over 20,000 imported goods. The Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act is widely blamed for exacerbating the Great Depression. In the aftermath of World War II, the United States and other countries worked to reduce tariffs and other barriers to trade. This led to a period of unprecedented economic growth and prosperity. However, in recent years, there has been a resurgence of protectionist sentiment around the world. The price we pay. Consumers and industries. Tariffs impose costs on consumers and industries in various ways. When tariffs are imposed on imported goods, the prices of those goods increase. This means that consumers have to pay more for the products they want. The increased cost of imported goods can also lead to higher prices for domestically produced goods that use imported components. Industries that rely on imported goods are also hurt by tariffs. For example, the steel and aluminum tariffs imposed by the Trump administration have led to higher prices for steel and aluminum products. This has hurt industries that use steel and aluminum, such as the automobile industry. The Peterson Institute for International Economics estimates that Trump's tariffs cost the average American household $1,700 per year. The PIE also estimates that the tariffs have reduced U.S. economic growth and led to job losses. Retaliation and escalation. A dangerous game. When one country imposes tariffs on another country's goods, the other country is likely to retaliate by imposing its own tariffs. This can lead to a trade war, in which countries escalate tariffs back and forth. Trade wars can damage the global economy and lead to higher prices for consumers. In response to Trump's tariffs, China, Mexico, Canada, and the European Union have all imposed retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods. These tariffs have hurt U.S. exporters and led to job losses in industries that rely on exports. The risk of retaliation is one of the main reasons why economists generally oppose tariffs. They argue that tariffs are more likely to harm the U.S. economy than to help it. They also argue that tariffs are a blunt instrument that is not well suited to addressing complex trade issues. The Great Tariff Debate. The use of tariffs is a highly debated topic. There is no consensus among economists about whether tariffs are beneficial or harmful to the economy. Some economists argue that tariffs can be used to protect domestic jobs and industries. Others argue that tariffs harm consumers and lead to job losses in other industries. Proponents of tariffs argue that they are necessary to protect American jobs from foreign competition. They argue that tariffs can help to level the playing field between American workers and workers in countries with lower wages and weaker labor standards. Opponents of tariffs argue that they are a hidden tax on consumers. They argue that tariffs lead to higher prices for goods and services, which hurts consumers, especially low-income households. They also argue that tariffs distort the market and lead to inefficiency. The global economy at a crossroads. The global economy is at a crossroads. The rise of protectionism and the threat of trade wars pose a significant risk to global economic growth and stability. The outcome of the current trade disputes will have far-reaching consequences for businesses and consumers around the world. It is essential for countries to work together to resolve their trade differences through negotiation and cooperation. The alternative is a world of escalating trade barriers, which would harm everyone. The stakes are high. The decisions made by policymakers in the coming months and years will determine whether the global economy continues to grow and prosper or whether it slides into a period of decline and stagnation.